cantankerous dudes.
Cantankerous fellas.
Mischievous fellas.
Is this the prequel to the film Good Boys?
The British equivalent of cantankerous fellas.
Did you ever see Good Boys?
No. Is that? Oh my God.
It's terrible.
Oh.
It's a really bad movie.
Oh no. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's starring it's got like 3 kids. And I think it was written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, or produced by them or something. And it's like 3 way too young horny boys.
Okay.
One of them is from Vancouver.
Oh.
Yeah, one of them is that kid Jacob Tremblay.
Tremblay. Oh yeah.
It's not a good movie.
Oh.
It came out like I swear it came out on like the same weekend as Booksmart.
Oh.
Or just after Booksmart or something. Yeah.
I was thinking of the one that had Daniel Radcliffe in it.
Harry Potter?
That's the one.
Yeah,
what is it? What is
boys.
the movie with like 4 boys and Daniel Radcliffe is one of them?
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're also like boys in a field or whatever. Fuck it. It's not coming to me.
I don't know. Not Swiss Army Man. That's boys in the woods.
And boys in the
2
woods.
boys in the woods.
I just want to say, listen, today we're talking Bad Boys. Welcome to the Low Ceiling.
Did you say about boys or bad boys?
Well, just Bad Boys. We're talking Bad Boys.
Yeah, I have a hot take about this title.
Yeah?
I will say. Do you want me to get it out of the way right away?
Go on.
First of all, welcome to the Low Ceiling. You just said that, but I ignored it. But I'm going to, go on.
Classic.
What is it?
Bad Boys.
What's the name of the pod?
On the Low Ceiling.
Yep. And who are you?
I'm Pre.
I'm Mike Lowry.
You're Mike Lowry.
So this movie is called Bad Boys. Not very bad.
Not bad.
There's not a lot of bad boys.
They're not bad boys at all.
No, they're pretty normal cops. They're
average dudes.
Even when they do that stereotypical like gun and badge, you're off the case. When the internal affairs Miss Plottington shows up, she's like, I'm shutting you down.
Yeah.
We're just gonna let $100 million of heroin leave. I was still kind of like, I don't know. I think they could have probably solved it. And then they did by shooting everything.
I mean, that's because they really had guys being dudes down to a science back in the day. You know what I mean? Everything was just such a good time. You could just have navy blue bed sheets.
Sorry, everything except this movie is. Just put it that way. I mean, let's be frank here.
Yeah.
Everything was a good time except for the film. So this movie, I had seen it a long time ago, and I was like, oh man, what I still question to this day is like, how is there a 4th film coming out in this franchise? And just can I give a small comparison? Fast and the Furious has turned into a big pile of junk.
Yeah.
But at least Fast and the Furious 1 is kind of good.
Yeah.
This movie is not that good. And the second one, as I think I've said before, is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Oh my God. We're about to have a fist fight. Because the second movie, I love way more than the first Bad Boys.
When I watched it, the 5 minutes I watched last night with you, I was kind of thinking, I was like, well, so one of the problems I have with this film is this. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it into the microphone in just a second once I figure it out. Okay, so this film feels to me, now that I watched it again, is like, oh, it's actually not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be kind of a serious cop film. And Will Smith is giving a performance like he's trying to break out to being a serious actor after being on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
So this is still ongoing as Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is still on. Okay.
But it feels like Will Smith is like, no, I can act serious, which is why he's completely fucking charmless in this film. Like, he is such a brick in this movie.
Yeah, dude.
And so much of this movie, it's not funny, and I don't think it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Whereas Bad Boys 2, and what I think is maybe why Bad Boys 2 might be a better movie now that I've revised my opinion, is that it's actually like, oh, I know what Bad Boys is now.
Yes, but
and
also
it's this.
I'll tell you why you just said that Will Smith is kind of a brick.
Don't put words in my mouth. No, yeah, go ahead.
You can go back and quote on listen.
Bad host, am I right?
The reason Bad Boys 1 doesn't hit the way it does for Bad Boys 2 does is in 1, the only kind of bromance or romance is with Michael Martin Lawrence. Megan Fox. You gotta get Will Smith with some hottie that he has chemistry with for the entirety of the film. Otherwise, it's a wasted opportunity. Bad Boys 1, no romance with the ladies.
No, and even though he's a total fuckboy.
Totally, and you don't get to see much of that, but also it's like sparingly used. He's just like a hard cop who's like messing around with his brother.
But also the movie does this weird like... It's like okay, two cops, they got to do this. They're kind of like they'll do whatever it takes to solve this case. Also, they have to do trading places or whatever in the middle of it,
what the fuck?
Where like they have to, which is like
my Lowry
is meant to be comedic and is never funny. Like it's never funny at all.
Because a lot of that you rest on Martin Lawrence's shoulders, and it's like, man, Will Smith's not there for most of it.
Yeah.
All the quote-unquote funny scenes of Martin Lawrence trying to play Will Smith's character is like, all right.
Yeah. If I had to guess too, I would bet that Martin Lawrence is in about 20% more of this film than Will Smith. There's a period where Will Smith he gets knocked out and he's just like, I gotta
go
film
back
an
to
episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
So just knock me out at this point.
Which is so, I mean, look, Will Smith got range, got hella range. He's playing this high schooler.
Academy Award winner.
High school kid in Bel Air, and then he's like, I'm a grown man in Bad Boys. I got this grown dick. Like what?
So apparently someone involved in the production of this movie, like originally Arsenio Hall was offered the role of Will Smith character.
Oh, geez.
And Arsenio Hall, I mean, respectfully, Arsenio, I disagree, but he said it was the worst decision of his life to turn down this movie, and I was like, I think you're okay. But then they like plucked Will Smith out of Fresh Prince being like, I think he can be a movie star.
Yeah.
And they're correct.
Yes.
He's not very good in this film. This might be one of his worst performances, but they are correct. Obviously they're right, but it's like, it's not until you get to, like Men in Black is like just after this. And
totally. There's not enough bad boys. What you gonna do? There's so much more of that in the second movie.
They're pretty much just normal cops.
They never sing the theme. Enough.
Yeah, because that's really cool when they do it.
It is really cool. You telling me you don't want to see two cool cops riding down Miami just being like, yeah, we have our own jingle. I am here for it. You know how much I love dudes loving dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you love a good bromance.
I do.
Do you want to go into your hot take that you said you had? Which spoiler alert is about. You said Tia Leone is ugly and horrible.
No, I just shut your
because
mouth. I would never say
she's a woman,
that.
right? That's
Jesus
what you.
Christ.
No, because I have some more. I have some stuff I want to talk about with Michael Bay, but let's get to your hot take.
I just want to say, in this movie, the first Bad Boys, there is a character called Maxine. She is a like supermodel from back in the day.
She is gorgeous. That woman is very beautiful. Yeah.
Real.
Yeah.
Just so stunning.
She gets capped early.
Yeah. And when I watched this movie, I was very, very, very young. Very, very young when I saw it. And I think it was one of those early films where I was like, is this the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life? Who is also like, we share the same skin color. That shit blew my fucking mind. Okay. And so then I got into this film and I was so excited to see, oh my God, my big, young crush Will Smith, Fresh Prince, about to get it on with a girl who's like the same skin color as me.
You were like, oh man, they're going to have a black woman be a prominent role in a film. And then
they fucking kill her dead.
Absolutely.
They kill her to death. And then they get like Tia Leone, who doesn't even get a romantic opportunity to be with Will Smith for the entirety of the film.
Yeah.
What a robbery. And so my hot take is that any film that does poorly with Will Smith in it is because they didn't get a woman hot enough to live long enough in a movie next to him.
Will Smith, though, he has like a Tom Cruise-ish energy where the idea of Will Smith, like he's like a fuckboy in this, but the idea of Will Smith actually fucking, I think is not tenable to the audience.
Really?
I really, cause
I think that's a modern day infliction because of him being a real person.
I don't know. I think there were attempts at making him a sexy leading man.
Yeah.
That didn't work. And I'm thinking of Wild Wild West.
I thought you were going to say the one with Margot Robbie, Focus.
Oh, that's late. That's much later when fucking is off the table. But he's focused. He's focused on whatever that movie's about.
Sure.
Because I don't remember. But okay, so if you remember correctly, in the great film Wild Wild West, in which the West is that wild.
Wow.
Is absolutely wild.
Twice as wild.
Yeah, 8 legs of wildness in that film. The very first scene is Will Smith naked in a tub with a lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then he doesn't really have much sexual chemistry after that right. I can think of with anyone. Ali, I don't know, man. I don't know what he does with his boxing gloves, but
look, Hitch, arguably one of the romantiest of rom-com movies.
But does he fall in love?
Yeah. He's like, Eva Mendes is this character.
I've never seen Hitch.
Okay. You're missing out because it's excellent. I even went to see it at the cinemas with my whole family, dude.
Wow.
So much. I was like, Mom and Dad, we have to go watch Hitch together.
Standing room only.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were the only 3 people at the cinemas in India because who's going to watch Hitch?
Yeah.
But it was a proper, you got a chance to see Will Smith do what he does best, is be a freaking charmer.
Charming, but not sexual. That's the thing. I just don't think that there's space because is
that like a Ken doll energy, like nothing going on down there?
Yeah, kinda. Because in Men in Black 2, he has flirtations with the woman with the coroner.
Yeah.
Enemy of the State, he ostensibly has an affair with Zoe Kravitz's mom, who's then murdered very soon in that film. In
iRobot, his shoe.
He has Sonny. Him and Sonny get it on. They kiss real hard. No, but him and what's her name, who in iRobot, they have they don't really even have a romance.
But it's a serious, quote unquote, serious movie. It doesn't have time
take
for
iRobot
romance.
very seriously as a film, because we've done a whole episode on it. But I don't know. I just find that he has that Tom Cruise thing where it's he can be charming, but nobody wants to see him fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would kind of make you uncomfortable because it's he's kind of especially now, he's such a dad, and even then he was just a goofy dad.
Yeah.
He's always just a dad guy.
Yeah. I've always thought everything he's done in the past, certainly in public appearances, has been big goofball.
It's embarrassment because fathers make you embarrassed.
He can take a joke
he's
and
the best at taking jokes.
Let it just laugh at himself and other people he knows.
His favorite joke, God, the old ball and chain. Am I right, fellas? He loves that joke. He loves
jokes at his expense. He's always been cool.
He's been very chill.
And maybe the thing is that he won't ever film a sex scene because Jada Pinkett would be just off camera being I'm watching.
Oh, you acting, are you? Oh, you out there acting.
Is that acting?
Okay.
Yeah. She's just outside the frame. Are you acting, Will? Are you acting really?
just your head pokes into the side of the screen.
Yeah.
The audience is I am afraid for my own safety.
Cut, Jada, your head's in the shot again. God.
Get your big noggin out of there.
Whoa, babe.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Oh, no, Will. No,
Will.
Please, no. Oh.
So this movie, can we talk about Michael Bay a little bit?
Yeah, fucking I'm excited.
Get off the Smith.
Yes.
I have a couple things to say about Michael Bay.
Mm-hmm.
First off, let's get this out of the way. He had a chance to do a sequel, and he chose Bad Boys 2. And I don't know why he didn't do fucking Pearl Harbor 2, because it's clearly one of his best films.
I'm sitting here giving you that incredulous look.
You're giving me that Jada Pinkett Smith.
How dare you compare the masterpiece that is Bad Boys 2.
Pearl Harbor to Bad Boys?
Hey.
Wow.
I just mean Bad Boys 2 is objectively a more fun than Pearl Harbor 1.
I disagree.
Really?
I stand firm that I think Pearl Harbor is one of his best movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's a drama, it's more serious.
Okay.
It's more...
Like we said in our Pearl Harbor episode. Now, this is the second Bay episode we've done.
That's right.
The third Smith, we've done Enemy of the State and iRobot.
Mm-hmm.
I think. We're going to do The Legend of Bagger Vance 6 and King Richard VII.
Still Wild West 4.
Wilder West.
Still going.
They've been trying to reboot Wild Wild West, though, I think. Even though it's like a critically panned film. I'm pretty sure they've talked about rebooting Wild Wild West with Kevin Kline and Will Smith.
Oh my God!
Just the sheer power of Will Smith.
Yeah,
makes
anything would work.
And like there's a lot of weird stuff that they decide to reboot in the era of nostalgia. Yeah. Anyway, okay, Bay. So Pearl Harbor's great. I love Pearl Harbor. Can I just say what I stand up for on Pearl Harbor is that, yeah, a lot of it is very bad, but it is anchored in the middle, as I said on our episode, by some of his best filmmaking in the battle sequence, which is just it's such a good area section of the film. And I am kind of joking. I don't think it's actually his best. I think maybe Transformers is his best, but I do like Pearl Harbor overall. I think it's fine. Yeah. But I think Pearl Harbor is better than this movie. But this is Bay's first film, right?
Bad Boys.
Yeah, which I didn't know. I thought he had been around a little bit.
It was his first.
So Bay, I also didn't know this. He came out of Propaganda Films. Do you know what that is?
No.
That was a advertisement company that was founded by David Fincher and a couple other people.
Oh, wow.
And it was like the breeding ground of all of these directors in the early 90s and into the 2000s and stuff like that. Breeding ground, but I mean they actually just had mothers giving birth to brilliant directors. No, like it was a place where a lot of guys started. And let me I get a little list here. Antoine Fuqua, David Fincher.
Jeez.
David Fincher. So if I remember correctly, Fincher did Ads. Yeah. And then did Alien 3.
Yeah.
And was like, I hate Hollywood. I hate movies. I'm going to do Ads again and continue to do Ads until he got 7. And then was like, all right. Okay, I'm back.
I know that Michael Bay did an ad, which is a very big ad.
Two ads that I want to talk about.
Okay, let's talk about the one big one at the same time. Okay.
More lists though. Dominic Sena of Gone in 60 Seconds, one of the best films ever made, as you know. Zack Snyder.
Wow, dude.
Future.
All in the same universe.
Future guy we're going to talk about.
Wow.
And Mark Romanek. Yeah. So among many others, including for some weird reason on that list was John Lithgow. I didn't know he directed things, but that's cool.
He does look like a director. He looks more like a director than he does anyone else.
I think he looks like Winston Churchill.
What do you think about your time when you were a director, Mr. Lithgow? How did you find that?
I can't do a Lithgow.
You do. It's such a good Lithgow.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Okay. We'll come back to it randomly.
Michael Bay's Ads, though.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the milk one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the famous one.
That's the big one. So
I had never seen it until the other day.
Oh, so you saw it, right? Yeah, now you know it's the Got Milk commercial.
It's a Got Milk
directed
commercial.
by fucking Michael Bay, which is so insane.
Yeah.
But then you can tell that he comes from commercials because every second has to be packed with like punch and it has to be like full attention.
It also can't be longer than a second.
Right. And it matters. Like every second has to be utilized to get the user to the next second. He was like, when I become a director, I'm going to do this exact same fucking thing for the entirety of the film. There is no dull moment in his movies.
So a lot of his movies, the weird thing about them is like there are dull moments, but you know he's trying to make them not dull.
Yeah.
And sometimes
exactly. Like the story might get dull, but
sometimes
the action
caution is like better in those moments where you're just kind of like, all right, but not everything has to have a camera moving through a hole or a space in a wall or whatever. Yeah. Like he's so obsessed with making it visually exciting that sometimes it does dull some of the
because it's like 100% of the time maximized.
Yeah.
Every scene is like this action and this dialogue and this has to be so impactful. That Bad Boys 2, as we're watching it last night, there's like a 30-minute nonstop action scene.
Oh yeah.
It goes on before anyone even says like a single line of dialogue.
But also, can I say that like possibly the failures of Pearl Harbor are the fact that he slows down and you can see the cracks in the problems of that film because of the slow moments. I would love it if someone out there who's listening just re-edit all of Pearl Harbor to be just like a Michael Bay movie, so that it's like an hour 45, and then but all of the love scenes are just like boom, 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 and
so shorty.
Yeah, like just score it with like get Sean P. Diddy Combs to be your executive music consultant or whatever.
Executive music consultant.
So this is Bay's first movie, right? He comes out of Propaganda Films.
Yeah.
And he does this movie, and This is something only I found funny. Last night I was like doing a little research and I was scrolling through the IMDb trivia, right? Which I don't often do because it's written by just people and people are dumb. The Bad Boys IMDb trivia sounds like it was written by Michael Bay.
Oh my God, tell me.
Like, sounds like it was written by him pretending to be someone else.
That's so funny.
Being like, well, the reason this sucks is because the script was terrible and we only had $10,000 to rewrite it, and that's why it's this way. So we improvised all this. It's like Michael Bay wrote this defense and then just sprinkled it through the IMDb trivia. There's this
it's not Michael's fault. It's a good film.
There is literally like some things that sound like they replaced my with the reason Michael Bay did this. Like, it's so funny. And there's this one point that constantly comes up is Michael Bay was paid $100,000 as his fee for this film, which is tiny, like nothing, right? Michael Bay probably gets paid multiple millions of dollars right now.
Yeah.
But his first movie, unproven director, it was rumored that they were given $29 or $30 million to make the movie, but actually they only got $19 million.
Jesus.
But this number keeps coming up where Michael Bay apparently paid $25,000 out of his own pocket, a quarter of his directing fee, to complete a shot, to complete a sequence, basically. And but in the IMDb trivia, they keep bringing up this specific number, and it feels like Michael Bay is being like, just so you remember, I did pay $25,000.
A quarter of my fees.
And that's a quarter of my fees. That's 25% of my fee. And so I did it for the film, and as you can see, Bad Boys has turned out to be, you know, a film that has spawned 4 sequels, but I paid for part of it. And it's like he's like trying to justify this.
So great.
It's very, very silly.
I love it.
And I learned nothing from the IMDb trivia, even though there's a million entries.
I don't know, babe. I think you learned about what a quarter is. That's pretty great for me.
So Bay's first film, then he goes on to make The Rock and a couple other things, and then
and music video for Meatloaf.
Yes, and also did you see his Verizon ad?
God, no.
Oh, it's great.
Is it?
Yeah. I think he directed it, but he's in it, and he's
of
like,
course he is.
All he's doing is like he's in his mansion and he's blowing stuff up, being like, I just want everything to be awesome, and then he clicks a button and blows something up, and there's this like, it's very self-aware, and it made me actually feel like a lot more respect for Michael Bay, because he was like, I just want things to look cool.
Fuck yeah. And
there's this beautiful part right at the end where like a Verizon salesman is like telling him all this stuff, and then he's like, cool, come out to the backyard, I gotta blow up more cool stuff for you. And it's a very, very good ad. I recommend people look it up.
Excellent.
Say what you will about Michael Bay, there's a reason he works. Every one of his films has made money back on the budget.
Yeah.
On Wikipedia, and I looked this up, I know those numbers aren't always accurate, and almost certainly not, but every one of his movies has made like many multiples of their thing back, except for The Island, which is a movie no one remembers Michael Bay made.
Oh, jeez.
And Ambulance, which is a tough movie because it was 2021.
Also
a great film.
Rough.
And then the other, the one that I think like really hypercharged this conversation about the artlessness of Michael Bay was Six Underground, because it was a Netflix movie.
Oh yeah, the Ryan Reynolds one.
Yeah, and it cost,
wow.
and as far as I know, underground there's 6. as far as I know about the plot of that
you
film,
know what?
right?
I'm only now making the connection that it's a Michael Bay film.
Yes.
And now it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And I've heard it's not good, but also it was like a $130 million film.
Yeah.
Where no one could really tell how much money it actually made.
Right.
Because Netflix is like, well, 3 billion people watched it. So,
so surely that means something.
6 Underground is actually probably the most watched film ever made. And
God.
Yeah. Netflix is wild.
Oh,
dude.
Man. Wow. But like Bay is a brand, right?
He is. And I think he gets an unfair rap as like being a bad filmmaker, because I don't think he is a bad filmmaker. And he doesn't go over budget. He is very prideful. I read this article where he's like, I'm very prideful that like I try to save where I can, and I try to make sure that we don't ever like go into huge cost overruns and things like that. So, which is really surprising, because a lot of his movies cost like $200 million.
Because he's just like, we can just fire the writer. We don't need a plot. So that's money saved there.
Yeah. But like, I didn't know, like, so the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
3 of them have made like over $1 billion
yeah,
worldwide.
I believe
They're
it.
so huge.
Listen, Many things are huge in that film. All right. I watched it for 2 very huge reasons, and I was very happy with
the robots are literally big.
Also, the robots.
They're really big.
Yeah.
Have you seen them?
Did you catch Martin Lawrence's cameo? This is a bullshit inside joke that no one's going to get.
No one understands it. Yeah.
But Megan Fox, what a killer.
Yeah.
But he's also so good at just immediately having the audience be kind of emotionally invested with the characters. And you wouldn't think to do it. You wouldn't think to do it in movies of Michael Bay. Look, not the greatest writer for women, okay?
Well, Michael Bay's not a writer.
Sure.
He doesn't write.
Totally right.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to always have the best dialogues or scenes or like angles.
He doesn't seem concerned about their
faces only.
He doesn't seem concerned about their representation in cinema. Yes. What if him and Alison Bechdel were like best friends? Wouldn't that be crazy?
She's like,
She was like, I actually wrote this comic to kind of poke fun at Michael Bay, but really we're buds.
We're actually pretty tight. Damn.
He like gives me tips on my graphic novel making, and I give him. I'm like, oh, maybe like cut this angle of Megan Fox's ass.
What if she's like the best? Like Transformers passes the Bechdel test because all the robots are in touch with their feminine side.
All the robots actually don't have a gender, so yeah.
Boom, number 1 pass.
Oh, turns out it's the most advanced film ever.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the further Transformers films besides one?
Nah, man.
Yeah, me neither. I should. I want to watch them. As
I'd be down.
Yeah.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
And look,
I'm really wondering what the dark of the moon means. You know?
It just feels like a euphemism for butt. Okay? Just the dark of the butt. Every time there's an SUV chase scene and then there's like a zooming in on on Will Smith, or there's like a running scene where there's a zooming in on Shia LaBeouf, you can just tell that like Michael Bay is just born again in those scenes. He 100% makes every scene.
He likes making them that way.
He makes it about himself though, which is great, because when they're acting, when these actors are doing these like incredible explosive scenes, I'm only thinking of Michael Bay. It's like, oh yeah, that's such a Michael Bay scene.
I think I read this like profile of Bay in the LA Times from after the second Transformers. I think they interviewed him as he was editing or releasing the second Transformers movie. And Alex Kurtzman, the screenwriter of, I think, one of the Transformers films, but definitely, like, Alex Kurtzman's a big screenwriter. He said that he was like, when I have ever worked with Bay, I'll be on set and just watching chaos. It just looks like chaos. And he's like, he's like, it seems like it's going to be a disaster. And then when you see it edited together, you're like, oh, he's actually choreographing a ballet. That's the way he put it. Which I was like, that's so fascinating, because Bay does seem like he embraces that chaos, but not the same way that we've talked about like Doug Liman does, where he smashes all of these things together. Functionally, they just seem so similar. Like Bay is just kind of like, I don't know, blow shit up, have 27 cameras running, let's see how it goes. Yeah. But it is like, apparently he's very like precise with that kind of stuff. Which
but I love
very
that
impressive.
Familiarity of it, right? Yeah. I love knowing that I'm going in to watch a Bay film, and so I know exactly what to expect.
His technical acumen is the brand, which is like really... It's funny because there's lots of directors like that, but not fully like that. Like, I think like lots of Fincher's technical acumen is part of his brand, but also a lot of the tonal and like performance stuff that Fincher gets becomes part of that too. Whereas like Bay, it's kind of like hot guys, hot single only one woman. Yeah. Yeah. Some special effects and a lot of explosions. But then, and it's like, as long as you have that, like story, characterization, all that stuff doesn't matter that much. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not. It's not like I love his movies, but I do. I'm like softer on him than being like, oh, he's just a piece of shit. Like, I don't think he is. I think he's actually a pretty good filmmaker if you are going to get the thing that you should know you signed up for. Yeah. I
don't know. Maybe it's a controversial take. You can take your kids to his films.
Yeah, they're PG-13 or whatever.
It's a full fam film, even though all of Bad Boys is about cocaine and killing and...
Oh, Bad Boys 2 is like really violent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The opening scene, KKK
so
rally.
I don't know if have you ever seen 13 Days? The Benghazi movie?
No.
That movie's really violent. Yeah.
13, fuck, that rings a bell. Hold on.
It's got John Krasinski in it.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I goddamn saw that.
That's actually one of his better films, I think.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
But it's also like way high rating and like generally well received, looks like.
It's probably one of his best received films besides the Academy Award nominated Transformers.
Jeez.
Transformers was it was nominated certainly for like sound design, and it totally deserves it. Like that, it's like pretty impeccable with that kind of stuff.
Oh hell
like, it's really good, kind of cool shit. I don't know.
And it was the first of its kind to do a movie like that.
It was definitely bridging a gap between like the blockbuster of old and the CGI blockbuster of new.
The Avengers before the Avengers, right?
Which was like, it came out the same year as Iron Man.
2008?
Oh, 08? Well,
Iron Man came out in 08, so...
Transformers was 07, I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
Iron Man 08, and then Avatar is 09. And like after that, it does kind of take off into a different era. But Transformers definitely feels like one of those bigger movies that are just like CGI fuckfests.
Gorgeous. Now I kind of want to watch one.
I do too. I wanted to rewatch the original Transformers for a while, and we'll do it on the pod sometime.
We'll do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bad Boys though. This movie, it does not spell a lot for Michael Bay's future.
No.
And he becomes a much better filmmaker after this. Even The Rock, I think, is like a better movie.
You know what's so shocking though? Bad Boys 1 got 50-something%. Bad Boys 2 got 23%.
I know. I think they're...
I don't get it.
I don't... Like, I gotta watch Bad Boys 2 and see. Because, like...
Look, even in the fucking Amazon description of it, it's like Bad Boys 1, tense, intense. Bad Boys 2, stylish, thrilling, wry.
Goofy.
Already superior.
Titties,
23%, I don't know where you're coming from.
Critics, what do they even know?
What do they know?
They're stupid. They gave like Pearl Harbor like nothing. This is
Good God.
a great film. And it's crazy that the day you listen to this, Bad Boys Ride or Die will be out. And Bad Boys 3 was called Bad Boys what?
The third. Too Bad, Two Boys. Wait. Bad Boys 3. Bad Menage. Wait, I got it. Menage three boys.
Fully a
Bad Boys for Life. Fuck, of
Bad
course
Boys
it is.
For life, yeah. And you'd think that would be the end of it. It's for life, right?
But then it's like soared at 76%. Bad Boys 3.
That's great. I highly doubt that's very accurate. Bad Boys Ride or Die, I just think is so funny because like they were like, wait, what do we call this one? And they're just like, pick a random trite phase that you learned on the internet. Just
What are they calling it?
It's Ride or Die.
That's right. Okay, so
it's legitimately called Ride or Die, which is a fucking terrible fucking name.
I wonder if it's gonna be the last of it. Maybe that's why
I don't know how they got to 4. That's the thing. That's the thing that's so absurd to me.
Because they made $500 million on 3, and they're like, we could do again.
Well, okay, so this is something I want to talk about Bad Boys is because there's a new movie coming out, which is crazy to me. But it's like when we think of what we try to talk about on this podcast, which is like the weird legacy of movies that you wouldn't totally expect.
Yeah.
This is one where I was like, how did they get to 4 films? It's just so crazy to me, you know, like because.
But it's such a good formula. It's such a good, like, if this was a TV series, I would watch every single episode.
Oh,
of
I'm
it.
sure the TV series is fucking coming up. Dude.
I mean,
yeah,
but like any other Miami PD show or whatever,
but
right?
It's like the buddy cop formula, right?
Exactly.
And this movie, Bad Boys, it doesn't even like it barely subverts the buddy cop formula. The only subversion being like, oh, they're both black in this one, which in 1995 was revolutionary. You know?
Oh, 100%. We're so accepting of the Fast and Furious franchise, though. There's 10 of those.
I do reject them very strongly.
I know, but like as a public, it's like, oh yeah, maybe there's going to be 20 more.
As a public, we do just lay back and take it.
Yeah. We take it.
Yeah,
from
we just
Michael
accept
Bay.
that it's a thing that happens. But like, okay, I was 5 in 95, so I don't remember a lot of this. But like a lot of what I read was that Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer were like, damn, Lethal Weapon 2 is like so successful or something. And so they just wanted to rip it off completely.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. I read a really, really bad review of someone who is like, Michael Bay's dumb and his characters are stupid and they just care about tits. Idiots. But his main criticism seemed to be that this movie wasn't as good as Lethal Weapon 2. And it's like, well, that's not a good criticism at all. Like, who cares?
Because they're different black guys in it. What do you mean?
But there's also it's just like, just saying that it's not as good as the movie it ripped off is like, well, yeah, we know, but like that's not like useful criticism in any way. Anyway, let's talk about the plot. This movie is silly.
I feel like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Do you want me to gloss over the plot?
I think so, because, like, look, a dedicated audience our age probably knows this deeply embedded in their memory.
Also, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Just unimportant completely.
The bad boys, really good boys.
Pretty good guys.
Good guys.
Yeah. So Marcus and Mike are partners.
Yeah.
Then Fouchette. I want to talk about Fouchette in a second.
Yes.
So he's this French villain who steals $100 million worth of heroin from the police.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something that is so crazy about Bad Boys 1 and 2, how did they manage to make these movies and yet cast two actors as villains who are completely unknown people?
Yeah.
I know I'm no shade to their careers, but like
foreign actors.
These are movies that need a villain. And these guys are just like, who is that?
Exactly.
I don't know who those guys are.
And they're not even all that villainous if you think about it. They're soft villains.
The Cuban guy is like a total psychopath, I thought. Doesn't he like torture and murder like a woman or something?
Okay, yeah, that guy. But he wouldn't even the main villain, right?
Look, I know that's just a Friday night to you, but like, come on.
He's not the lead kind of like villain Who is? The one who kills Maxine.
I'm talking about 2.
My bad. 2 has a really good villain.
Yeah, he's like a psychopath.
2 is perfect. That's why 2 is a superior
But
film.
that actor is like totally,
nobody knows.
Couldn't tell you his name or 100%. What else he's done, right?
Oh, he's crazy.
This guy, Fouchette, he's just like, he's so ineffective as a villain. And then he just gets shot. He steals the heroin and it's like an inside job. Joey Pants is like, you got to get the heroin back. This steak tastes so delicious. I'm in the Matrix.
I'm going to yell at you guys for the 5th time in a minute. He yells so much, man. I hate him.
That's all he does. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was like, I hope this cop dies.
I hope I see him get his head cut off in a very good television series. So spoiler alert for The Sopranos. Whoops.
Jesus. These cops, OG Sopranos. That's how they did it.
And so they have to get this heroin back. They investigate. They send Max and Julie, played by Tia Leone, who's the third lead in this film, to kind of suss out what's going on. Max ends up getting killed by Fouchette. Julie escapes, and then she calls the police and is like, I'll only talk to Mike Lowry. That's it.
Because Max said, if you're ever in trouble, go to Mike.
Call my
Lowry.
Call my fuck boy who's like gonna give me chlamydia, but he's trustworthy. Tell you. So Julie calls, and then Marcus has to pretend to be Mike. This is a very weak plot point because like
I know
they could just kind of like I don't think Julie is so unreasonable that when they find Mike, they could just be like, listen, I lied, but this is literally Mike Lowry. Here's his badge.
Yeah. Or bring him into the police station. But then again, I guess they assume that there's moles in there or whatever.
It's just a little weak. That's all. And then, so basically Marcus has to pretend to be Mike. Mike has to go live with Marcus's wife. And Marcus, who's
the old
ball and chain,
the henpecked Marcus,
never has sex with me in the morning.
She just like,
how can I fight crime if I don't get my dick wet? Yeah,
Marcus, I'm the worst wife of any man. I'm just a human garbage wife. It's like she is the nicest person.
She's fairly
like
reasonable,
super hot and very Also.
Marcus, like, why does he lie to her and say like, oh, I gotta go to Cleveland or whatever? Just be like, yo, some crazy ass shit has to happen.
I'm a witness protection.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's just weak.
Sometimes you can't reason with the ball and chain. You gotta,
especially if you're a bad boy. Like, as a bad boy myself, I feel I really empathize with Marcus here.
Babe, you're a bad man because you're grown.
I feel old.
That's worse.
I wish I had $100 million of heroin right now.
Malicious man.
Anyway, they do the little trading places thing for a while.
Yeah.
The internal affairs plot Poddington lady shows up every once in a while and is like, if you don't do this right, I'm going to shut you down.
Please, internal affairs lady, no.
And then eventually, the ruse is up. Julie figures out Marcus isn't Mike and Mike is Mike. And the internal affairs lady does indeed shut them down. And then Joey Pants is like, go kill everyone. And then that's
and they do?
kind of it. Then they go and do it. And it's like a massive
fight.
Massive explosion laden scene of craziness. Yeah.
Look, 3 things, okay? 1, it would be nice if Mike Lowry had like cute romance with women throughout. Mike Lowry.
Yeah.
It'd be cute if he had like, we got to see more of his soft side or whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't get to see it, so that's like a point off for me.
Yeah.
2, it'd be nice if they cast someone really hot as the third act.
Here it comes with the Tia Leone.
I just mean cast someone a couple shades darker.
You're talking so much shit on Tia Leone.
All I'm saying, look, Tia, you're my girl, all right?
I don't think she is.
You do such a good job in all the things you do. Madam President, like, you could be such a good political candidate. I don't know if you're like the right person to play a streetwalker, in Miami who's like, I'm just so afraid.
Yeah, where's her tan anyway? Honestly.
Right?
Can I just ask a question? Because I already am gonna answer no. Name another Tia Leone film right off the top of your head. Go. 1, 2, 3, done. Right? Like Tia Leone she's. I actually think she's pretty good in this.
I only know her from TV shows now.
Right, but like she's a name that I've heard forever. I think she's been nominated for an Academy Award, and I'm like,
jeez,
oh shit, I don't know what else she's been in. Like I just don't remember.
No.
So maybe that's it. Like maybe that's part of it. What's your third thing?
Now I gotta find out. Oh, Fun with Dick and Jane. Fuck, that's right. Okay, yeah. Anyway.
More like boring with Dick and Jane.
Come on, get it together, Madam Secretary. Okay. And then the third thing is that I have no emotional connection or like fear of the villain. So when he dies, it's not rewarding. When he wins, it's not like shocking.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of just whatever. Dudes being guys, fellas being men, and then it's over.
Everything is like is not well rounded.
No,
yeah.
But in Bad Boys 2, all 3 things 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Incredible cast with Gabrielle Union. My God, what a queen. Really good like comedic timing, even between.
Well, but they've
Mike
accepted the comedy, right? Like they've accepted that they're going to be an
lean
action
into that
comedy,
more.
Yeah, and Will Smith is basically being Agent J from fucking Men in Black. In this movie, there's like he can't seem
He's just like
to
cavalier.
decide where to be funny and not, and it comes across as just kind of like blank.
And the villain is so much better in Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
Oh, scary guy. And also, every Michael Bay movie, do they always threaten to kill a fucking dog or something? Like, do they always go, gosh darn it, this dog, we shoot her dead? I don't know. I'm seeing patterns, okay? I've seen it in a few places.
It all depends who threatens to kill the dog, the bad guy or the good guy.
Will Smith does in Bad Boys 1, where he's like, Tia Leone with your dogs.
Yeah, well, but he's upset with the dog on the couch.
Shitting in the carpet and stuff.
I gotta say, though, I about that... They would never get away with that today. They would never have Will Smith be a guy who hated dogs.
No, that's what I'm saying. They would be like,
audiences,
that's what I'm saying.
Tend to like dogs.
Yeah.
And Will Smith, we know you don't fuck, but you should pretend to like dogs.
Come on now. Yeah. You can't have 2 bad things going on at the same time. Get it together. Yeah.
Well, they can barely have 2 bad boys. Yeah. Barely.
That's too many already.
Babe, Michael Bay already paid $25,000. He can't get He can't get enough bad boys in this.
If they had a third bad boy, you know who I think would be a fucking great choice?
Tell me.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I mean, he's so killer in Ambulance, man.
He's so good in any cop movie, dude.
In Ambulance, he is locked into the Michael Bay style. It is amazing. Yeah.
So it's between Jake and John Leguizamo for me as the third bad boy.
Oh, Johnny Legs, yeah.
Johnny Legs.
He's Johnny Legs is a little older now, but he could play a good like police captain.
Yeah, dude.
But back in the day.
But he'd be too sweet. He'd be a sweetie.
No, dude. Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
So vicious. All right, Bad Boys.
Bad Boys.
Ride or Die.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely capturing the essence of that in the cinemas.
You're gonna go see it?
What do you mean we're gonna go see it?
I'm not gonna go see it.
You're abandoning me?
I'm gonna go see Furiosa. You don't want to see it.
That's right.
Because you hate good things.
Not even one bad boy in it. Name a titular bad boy in Furiosa. I think not. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this
fucking
bullshit. God damn it.
Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they ride or die?
Whoa, ooh, that is so good. Bye.